The trailer starts off with what looks like the flesh pits from Mortal Kombat 9. Now, I'm going to have to put this in black and white because I feel like I'm going to get kicked off of YouTube or it's going to get demonetized if I don't, so sorry in advance. But it's definitely creepy and probably the most gory stage we've seen so far in Mortal Kombat 1. We see a body on the right-hand side, we see a centaur on the bottom, and we see this very strange creature on the left-hand side. It looks like there's many creatures combined to one. It's twitching and moving. It looks very creepy. Now, it got me thinking, is this a torture ground where Reptile lives, or is this an experiments laboratory? We've already seen something similar to this stage, if this is an experiments laboratory, in the Umgadi trailer, I believe. So is this another one? I'm not too sure. In the next scene, we see Reptile approaching what looks like Baraka, Johnny Cage, and Kung Lao sitting on the bottom right. I'm not too sure how they got captured by Reptile. If there's 3 of them against 1, I have no idea how that's possible. But somehow along the way, they got captured by Reptile and they're staying in his torture chamber. We get another shot of the torture chamber / experiments ground. We see some poor soul just strapped up against the table. I tried to take a closer look to see if it was anybody I could recognize, but it looks like it's just a totally random person. Maybe it's feeding time for Reptile? I do not know. What's really cool about this scene, not only do we see Reptile change from human form to his reptilian form, but honestly, the suits and the skins that Johnny Cage and Kung Lao have on are pretty cool. I don't know why I'm thinking this, but it kind of reminds me of Blade or the old X-Men movies in a way, but I don't know. There might be something else that I'm thinking about. Later on, we see Baraka and Reptile leading this group through the living forest. We also get to see Kenshi. I didn't see him in the little cell that they were staying at, so I'm not too sure how he kind of tags along with the group. But what's interesting to note with Kenshi is that we see him holding on to Johnny Cage's back. Maybe this is around the time where Kenshi is blinded for the first time, so he doesn't know how to walk and move around. And we also see Johnny Cage carrying Kenshi's sword. So maybe this is around the time where Kenshi is learning how to walk for the first time when blinded. In this next scene, we see Reptile hopping from building to building in Outworld, and it looks like there's some sort of celebration going on. We can see a portal on the very back. We can see this giant statue in the middle, and I don't know who that's supposed to be of. The first thoughts I had was King Jared and maybe General Shao. And this one's a total stretch here. Don't quote me on it at all. I'm just really nitpicky. I don't even think this is right whatsoever, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. If you zoom in on one of these characters, they're perfectly lit right now, and they have like green clothing on. For some reason, I thought it Jade. I don't think it's Jade, but I'm just throwing it out there because if I'm right, hey, I just want to be the one that said I said it first. During the celebration in Outworld, we see Kitana waving to all the citizens. On our left is Melina. Now, this is before she gets the Tarkat disease, and she kind of looks at Melina, not really happily or sad. She just kind of has like a straight face on. And honestly, in the past couple of trailers, I was speaking with Uncanny Carlos about this at Evo, and we were thinking maybe Kitana might be evil this time around. Maybe she's the evil sister and Melina's the good one. Maybe she wants the throne. Maybe Li Mei saw that Kitana wanted the throne, saw her evil plans, and that's why King Jared was killed on Li Mei's watch, because Kitana wanted Li Mei out the picture. I don't know. I'm just putting up a quick theory. But then all of a sudden, chaos starts raining down. We see all these flames coming up, and in a blink and you'll miss it shot, we see Ashra, Kung Lao, and Johnny Cage carrying what looks like Quan Chi. Now, I only say Quan Chi because in the next scene we know it's Quan Chi, but it looks like Quan Chi is in disguise as well as the rest of the group. Now, I'm not too sure. Did they know Quan Chi was gonna be there to try kill Melina or Kitana? Or is he a part of the group and maybe he got knocked out or something? I have no idea where this is going to go. Then we finally get to see gameplay of Reptile, and I believe this is going to be his own chapter in the story for the very first time, I think, which is completely awesome. They did a phenomenal job with Reptile in this trailer. And we see Kenshi run behind Reptile, and I think this confirms that Kenshi is going to be a cameo in Mortal Kombat 1. Why else would Kenshi run behind Reptile in a position like how cameos usually are? However, in the next scene, we get to see gameplay of Reptile and Kitana reverts back to her default skin, and we get a Frost cameo instead of Kenshi, so they did a little bit of editing there. But this is by far my favorite gameplay of Reptile of all time. Before we get into Reptile's gameplay, leave a comment who was a character you were most excited to see. Also, join the Discord, link is in the description. It looks like in the beginning he has a stand 2-4 launcher, and he also has his dashing move return as well. He also might have a back 3-1, which is a low overhead mix. Now, this is going to be extremely dangerous if that's the case. Let me just paint a clear picture here, because Frost is a cameo in this gameplay, and I got to play Frost at Evo, which was so much fun. I got to play with Uncaged Games, and I destroyed Uncaged Games, which is going to be the title. No, it's not. I'm kidding. He told me not to put that, so I'm gonna keep the promise. But when I got to play as Frost, one of the moves that she has is a full screen ice freeze, so it goes all the way on the ground and it's a low. Now, if Reptile has a back 3, which is a starter low, and then it goes into a overhead, I'm assuming it's an overhead and not a mid. If that's the case, you can literally mix up your opponent crazy with these cameos. So if my opponent thinks I'm going to go with a low to overhead, which is the regular string for Reptile, I can change it up and do my back 3 into my Frost cameo, and then she could do her low ice freeze. So instead of going low overhead, I'll do low low. Good luck blocking those strings, because right after that ground freeze, I can do my stand 2-4, which is a pop-up, which we just saw not too long ago, or I can do the back 3-1, which is a low to overhead, and then do my acid ball, which is a pop-up. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not if that one move is an overhead. Then Reptile continues the string with an acid ball, which is a pop-up, and it turns him into a lizard, which is really cool to see. And then it ends with an air juggle combo, and he comes from the top of the screen and he's a lizard again. Then we get our first look at Ashra, and I totally messed up. I thought it was Devora. I saw the black eyes and immediately just thought Devora. It was really loud in the room that I was in. Everyone was screaming, making a lot of noise, and the volume wasn't that loud from where I was standing. And poor Raiden, he's just getting beat up again. I feel like every single trailer we've seen him in, he just gets beat up. But he did have one good combo string in the first or second trailer, but from then on out, he just kept getting beat up. Now, Ashra has one of the longest combos I've ever seen in a Mortal Kombat trailer. Ashra performs a string, and I think it turns into a special move, and while she's doing the special move, she calls in a Cyrex ambush assist. That little assist that you see Cyrex doing is a callback to Cyrex's fatality in Mortal Kombat 3. Ashra looks like she does a forward 3 string, which again leaves the opponent stunned for Cyrex to come in and use his net assist. Then she jumps in and does another string, which is pretty confusing. It looks like she does some sort of move that leaves the opponent stunned, and then does a special move that jumps over the opponent and then pops him up again. And if you thought that was it, she continues the combo with an air juggle combo, and then has like a Banshee move, and it's like a blink and you'll miss it scene. I didn't see it the first time around, which is really cool because it reminded me of Sindel in Mortal Kombat 11. An interesting scene here, we see a green skull that goes towards Ashra and she slices it in half. Immediately, my thoughts were Quan Chi, but then the next scene shows Havoc and Sareena. Now, I do think this was an editing thing that NetherRealm Studios did. I don't think this is the same scene whatsoever. But I do believe we will be getting a chapter in the story for Ashra, which is awesome. We get one for Reptile and we get one for Ashra. And I'm just so glad that they brought in Havoc and Sareena. Havoc and Sareena look incredible in this game. Havoc just starts off this gameplay by throwing in a Superman punch, and then he calls in Sareena as an assist in her demon form. While she's throwing those 2 knives, Havoc just completely snaps his neck. This string and assist allows you to continue the combo because Havoc snaps his neck again and then performs a special move. However, if you take a closer look at this scene, it actually doesn't connect. They just let this special move hit to perform the combo. And I'm so glad they brought in this special move for Havoc where he does like the torso twist. It's such a crazy move. We get to see the awesome fatal blow for Havoc and Sareena, and we can see that Sareena's holding Noob Saibot's weapons. I don't know what you call them. And we have to remember that Sareena and Bihan, I believe, had a love interest in the Mortal Kombat lore. I don't know if this is an Easter egg saying that Noob Saibot's going to be in the game, or if this is an Easter egg saying that Noob Saibot isn't going to be in the game. But if you take a closer look at Havoc's fatal blow, he is punching the opponent so hard that he is ripping apart his own arms. And I gotta give it to NetherRealm, they did Havoc justice in this gameplay. Next up, we got more footage of Johnny, Kung Lao, Ashra, Reptile, Kenshi, and Quan Chi. We can see Quan Chi sitting on the ground again. He's knocked out. I don't know if he came with the whole group or they went to Outworld to stop Quan Chi and capture him. You can see it's Quan Chi because he has those little markings and tattoos on his arms. We get more gameplay footage of Reptile. We see that tail whip. It could be a special move. I thought it might have been like a back 3 or something like that, or a back 4. This next move could be a slide for Reptile, but he turns into his lizard form, kind of bites him like a crocodile, and then rolls around. We do get to see Melina's teleport kick and the roll. The roll looks pretty fast, but it has a lot of pushback, and it does look punishable, but I'm just surprised on how far back her roll goes. From that roll that Reptile blocks, it looks like it's going to be a back 2 pop-up. He then follows that string with an acid spit. Hopping back over to Havoc and Sareena, it looks like we get to see Sareena's second assist move, which is a pop-up. Then after, we see a low starter from Havoc, and then he calls in Sareena as an assist again for her third assist move, which looks like Quan Chi's magic. This could be anything. We did see Quan Chi use this move in Mortal Kombat X. I don't know what this is going to be. It could be a damage buff, it could be a meter burn, it could be anything. Then an interesting special move, we see Havoc roll and then grab the opponent, which is really cool. He then vomits all over their face, which is disgusting. I didn't see this the first time around, so it's a blink and you miss it scene, but if you grab your opponent as Havoc and the assist comes in, Havoc actually twists his torso and faces the opposite way. And then finally, we see more gameplay of Ashra, and her sword is purple. Now, you're probably going to have to summon this as a special move, but it's really cool to see. I don't know if it's going to be a damage buff or what, but that is awesome. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your guys' thoughts on the whole trailer breakdown? Did I miss something? And what are your theories you have as well?